Hello, thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've always been curious about this one, and now that a friend picked one up, we can finally talk about it. His experience, start to finish. Quick note before we begin. There's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer found this electric scooter to be impressively powerful, noting that its strong motor tackles hills with ease while maintaining a consistent speed. For commuting on paved surfaces, the suspension system provides a great, comfortable ride. Our reviewer mentioned that the assembly process was generally easy, although using your own set of tools, like sockets, will make the job much smoother than relying on the supplied toolkit. The directions were a bit of a letdown, as they were not entirely accurate for this specific model and referred to a few parts or features that weren't actually present. However, most of the setup was intuitive enough to figure out, from mounting the basket to installing the brake light and reflectors. What this client particularly enjoyed was the straightforward, throttle-only design. There are no complicated modes or speed settings to fuss with. Your speed is controlled entirely by the throttle and the brakes handle slowing down. This simplicity makes it easy to find a sweet spot for cruising to conserve battery. The display is similarly minimalist, showing only the remaining battery life. The scooter uses a key for ignition, which has a peculiar 3-position system. The final position is the only one that engages the throttle and secures the key. Our reviewer advises against using a large keychain, as it can dangle and jingle while riding. While the brakes on this unit didn't need any initial adjustments, it's a good idea to check them. For anyone looking for a reliable and affordable option for short-distance travel to work or around the neighborhood, this e-scooter seems to be a solid choice, provided you stick to dry, smooth roads.
Fantastic. Now, let's see what insights our next reviewer has to offer.
This reviewer found that their new electric scooter arrived well packaged. Getting it set up took about 15 minutes, though our reviewer, who likes to follow instructions precisely, felt the manual could have been more clear. They found an assembly video on the product page which was helpful, even though it showcased a slightly different model. A great bonus was that the battery came with a decent charge right out of the box, allowing for immediate use. In fact, this client managed to ride for about 10 miles before even needing to plug it in for the first time. Initially, there was some nervousness about safety, especially with the kids being so eager to ride it. However, the 3 selectable speed modes quickly put those concerns to rest. The first setting is capped at a gentle 9 miles per hour, which is great for learning, while the second goes up to around 16. The third mode unlocks the e-scooter's full potential. Our reviewer, who weighs about 180 pounds, noted that it topped out around 5 miles per hour and suspects a lighter rider could likely go faster. At 6'2", they felt a little cramped on the frame but said it was still comfortable enough to ride. The practical features also stood out. The basket is genuinely useful for carrying a few items on trips to the park, and the built-in headlight and tail light are solid additions for riding at dusk. Other basics like the kickstand and brakes work just as they should. The horn is a simple bell mechanism, but it gets the job done. Overall, this electric rideable has been a big hit, perfect for getting around the neighborhood. The battery life has been more than adequate for their family's needs, leading them to feel it's a great value.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer recently shared their experience with a new electric scooter, expressing initial doubts that were quickly overcome by the product's quality and fast shipping. Upon unboxing, they were pleasantly surprised to find that all the necessary tools for assembly and adjustment were included, which is always a nice touch when setting up a new device. However, the initial ride was anything but smooth. Having never used an e-bike with a hand throttle before, our reviewer found the experience quite disorienting. They felt off balance and immediately worried they had made a poor purchase. The main issue seemed to be an inexplicable stopping mechanism. As soon as they accelerated and then released the throttle, this electric scooter would abruptly come to a halt. This was incredibly confusing, as they initially assumed this was normal operation and that they would constantly have to accelerate, making the whole experience feel awkward and frustrating. It truly felt like a significant design flaw that made the scooter difficult, if not impossible, to ride comfortably. After some careful thought and a growing sense of frustration, our reviewer decided to inspect the parts more closely. It was during this examination that the true culprit was discovered. While unpacking the unit, the front brake cable had inadvertently been nudged out of place. It had become caught on the rim of its housing, creating just enough tension to engage the front brake slightly, effectively locking the wheel whenever the throttle wasn't engaged. Imagine the relief when, after simply adjusting the cable leading to the caliper connection, it just fell perfectly into place. Problem solved. What initially seemed like a severe functional defect was merely a minor setup oversight during unpacking. This client, at 61 years old, is now happily zipping from work to home and even enjoying extended rides. They candidly admit that, without this crucial discovery, they would have undoubtedly left a scar.
That's all for today. If you like this, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments.